On the Newshour Direct, the Foreign Minister Salman Khurshid joins me. Mr. Khurshid, thank you for joining us. I have two sets of questions for you, one on Sarabjit and next on China. Mr. Khurshid, Sarabjit has been languishing in Pakistan in the jail there for 23 years, arrested in 1990. Your government has been in power for almost 9 years now and more. The general view is that your government did not aggressively push the Pakistanis on Sarabjit. In letters written to his family, Sarabjit repeatedly said, "My life is in danger in the prison in Pakistan." Your government failed to take this up aggressively enough with the Pakistani authorities, or this would not have happened, Mr. Khurshid.
Well, are we going by facts or are we going by impressions? If it's only impressions, there isn't very much I can do about it. The facts are that we have consistently, throughout, not from now, but from 2005 onwards, we have repeatedly, very carefully, in a very determined way, we have sought relief for Sarabjit. Our interventions allowed on several occasions for his family to be able to see him and for counsellor access. Even after Chaubel Singh's unfortunate incident, not only have we been asking for post-mortem reports and details of the incident, of how he came to his sad and unfortunate demise, but also warning Pakistan government, insisting that there should be access given to the Judicial Committee, which is now in Rawalpindi, and we have once again reaffirmed and asked for the Judicial Committee, where 2 Indian judges are included, former judges, should also have access to Sarabjit Singh and to other prisoners. Everything that's possible is being done. It is an extremely unfortunate incident that has taken place. We are extremely saddened and very, very concerned, and we will do whatever is necessary, both to bring relief to him, his family, as well as protection to all prisoners who are in Pakistan.
Mr. Khurshid, you say that I go by impression, whereas one should go by fact. But the impression is also, Mr. Khurshid, with all greatest of respect to you, based upon some fact. For example, Chaubel Singh was also tortured and killed in a Pakistani jail. Now, neither did India press Pakistan to return his body, which was returned 2 months after his death, nor is India today pressing for Chaubel Singh's post-mortem report to be given by the Pakistanis, which they haven't given so far. Now, if we are trying, which you are saying we are trying, then obviously we are not trying in the right manner, with sufficient pressure, or with a certain degree of threat.
I don't know what that means. What is sufficient pressure in diplomacy? All the instruments of diplomacy that are available to us, we are using. We continue to press for the post-mortem report. It is true the body in mortal remains were returned after 2 months. That itself is obviously something which is not necessarily acceptable. But be that as it may, we continue to push as hard as we can. I would be very happy to have any constructive suggestion made by you or any other person who expresses concern as to what more can be done by way of extensive use of diplomatic instruments. Is there anything else that you suggest?
Mr. Khurshid, if one were to ask you this, that in the period that Pakistan did not return Chaubel Singh's body, it would have been appropriate for India to say that we will disengage with you diplomatically if you don't return his body. We will disengage with you diplomatically if you don't give the post-mortem report. And possibly even now, we will disengage with you diplomatically if you continue to be insensitive enough to say that your 4-member panel has turned down the request to move Sarabjit outside Pakistan.
Well, let's look at it in a proportionate manner. As far as we are concerned, it would perhaps be helpful to both sides if, provided medical condition allows it, he can be flown out of Pakistan, perhaps through a air ambulance brought to India for appropriate treatment. But that's not something on which the medical board has given any clear indication, certainly not up till now. And I can understand that we shouldn't substitute our judgment for the judgment of medical board, no matter of which country. But we have made it very clear that we are willing to take the responsibility to look after him. And this is, in fact, being pressed also as a humanitarian appeal, that if not earlier, at least now, in terms of humanitarian conditions, he could be allowed, or his family could be allowed to bring him back to Delhi or to any part of India where he can be given suitable treatment.
Mr. Khurshid, my last question on Sarabjit and Pakistan before I move on to China is that there is a general impression, and this impression is over a period of time, and everybody cannot be wrong, that the general approach of the UPA 2 government, and UPA 1 also, but more principally UPA 2, is one of appeasement, generally, as far as Pakistan is concerned. Management and appeasement.
Well, I don't think management is a bad word, but appeasement is certainly something that I would not accept. But there is in diplomacy many things that are done and attempted that fall somewhat different from the plans of somebody who doesn't understand diplomacy. I do know when these difficult situations take place, we have to be patient and we have to accept all kinds of criticism. We know what we are doing. We know that what we are doing is in the best interest not only of the person concerned, but also of all prisoners of Indian origin in Pakistani prisons. I think these are extremely difficult and sensitive human situations, and I think we should be allowed to handle them with all the sincerity and concern that we have.
But aren't you worried because in a preliminary probe report submitted to the Pakistan government, jail authorities admitted that the security lapse is the main reason for the attack on Sarabjit. This comes 4 months after Chamail Singh was killed under similar circumstances. They have not given us his post-mortem report. Mr. Khurshid, doesn't this mean that other Indian prisoners in Pakistan jail too are at risk?